In this video from accounting101.org, we're going to go over how to use the Vlookup function in Microsoft Excel. Now what you're seeing here is Microsoft Excel for the Mac, and if you're a Windows user, don't freak out or leave for another tutorial. These functions work exactly the same on a Mac or a PC, so you will learn what you need to know. So a Vlookup, it basically stands for vertical lookup. So you're usually looking up a value from a table that's arranged vertically, which is what we have here, this tax table. So clearly, based on the salary of our employees right here, we are trying to look up the applicable tax rate based on the salaries here. Now, as you can see, I didn't program Microsoft Excel. I don't know exactly how it works. It doesn't make complete sense, but I just know that it works. So for any given value, 29,866, that will come in over here. It's over 25,000, but it's not yet 30,000. So Vlookup will pull this number right here. As long as we enter the formula in right. So that's how Vlookup works. We're not going to find these exact salary numbers in this table, obviously, as you can see. These are round numbers. Every $5,000, the tax rate changes. So Vlookup will pull these approximate values for us. So we start in the first cell. That's the same way every formula starts. You enter your equal sign, you start typing in Vlookup, and you can click on it here, it pulls it up. The lookup value, we're trying to look up the corresponding tax rate for Justin Bieber's salary of $22,345. So we click on that cell. Then you hit comma. Your table array, this is our table right here. These two columns colored in orange. Now you put your comma again, but before we go on, you need to make this reference absolute, because as these go down, when we enter in the formula, and we can drag the formula down so it applies to every cell. If you don't have this absolute, then you're pulling values from down here, which obviously there's no values in there for it to pull from. So you have to make this reference absolute. So that's either F4 on a Windows or Command T on a Mac. So the next thing that it wants to know is the column index number. Now what that means is, from the table of data that we're pulling from, column 1, this is where it's going to match up the salaries. But the answer that we want returned is in column 2, which is this column right here. So what we enter in here is a 2. Okay. Now we don't need a range lookup. That's an exact match or not. We don't need an exact match for this because we don't have exact numbers to match. When you'd use that is if you're looking up text, for example, and you need an exact match. That's when you use, you can go on and enter in a range value. So this should work. If we hit enter, we get 2%. Just a quick check, 22,000. That meets this barrier, 20,000, but it's not yet 25. So the right answer is 2%. So you can obviously drag this down, and this will apply and quickly show us the corresponding tax rates for our employees over here, and we get to see their salary and their applicable tax rate. So one tip before we end this tutorial, on this range value right here, the actual table array, it's usually easier to, well, I'll come out of this. Oh, I just messed up our formula. It's usually easier to name your table. Let's see. F4. Okay. So the way that you do this, you name your table instead of having to hard key in the actual table range. So if you highlight this, we don't have a formula going on or anything right now. Highlight your table. You come over here and you just name this tax rates or something like that, and hit enter. Then you can come to your formula. We open this up, and instead of putting in that, it'll be easier to just type in tax rates. And as you can see, that highlighted this, so it knows what that is. So it's the same, it's the same difference in the end. It's just a cleaner way to work in Excel, a better way to work. So in any given formula here, you'll see that it shows tax rates, which is referencing, and it is an absolute reference because you've specifically named this range of cells. So that is a quick tutorial on how to use VLOOKUP in Microsoft Excel.